All right, welcome back to Spies and Sabotage. This is the upper bracket round one match two between Medium Bots and Goose Gang. As always, we will have two randomly selected rules that apply to both teams. 4 sabotages available for purchase with spies, keeping in mind that as this is the first match for both teams, they will both only have 5 spies to spend, and then contracts available to both teams to earn more spies in return. We are still waiting some of the players entering the lobby, but we have received what the rules and sabotages available will be. So let's go ahead and take a look at those now. Our first randomly rolled rule will be tryhards. Each team must have 3 heroes in a single lane until game time reaches 10 minutes. So it is an enforced try lane for the first 10 minutes of the game. Our second rule applying to both teams will be Brawlhalla. We keep getting this one. It's always entertaining. There will be a 5v5 fight near the Roche pit when the game time reaches 10. We're not too strict about this. We just want to see a huge 5v5 breakout near the Roche pit at 10 minutes. So we're going to all chat for them to make their way to the Roche pit and get started. We'll come back to these rules in just a second, but first let's run through the available sabotages. These are increasing in tier and increasing in cost. The tier 1 sabotage available for this game at a cost of 1 spy is eco-friendly. Each enemy must buy 2 iron branches and plant them at the start of the game. So that's 100 gold spent and then thrown into the ground. They don't even get to keep the stats. The tier 2 sabotage, impoverished. The enemy team cannot take any of the 0-minute bounty runes. Sabotage for tier 3, honesty. If you ask an enemy if they have buyback, they must always answer honestly. Unlike some of the other information sabotages, this one does not have a limit. You can use it as many times as you would like. And sabotage tier 4, donkey donation. The enemy team must feed 3 couriers down mid before game time reaches 1 minute. So those are the available sabotages. Let's take a look at all of them as a group. We have eco-friendly, impoverished, honesty, and donkey donation. This also keeping in mind that our rules are tri-lane for the first 10 minutes and a 5v5 Roche fight at 10 minutes. Our casters for this match are Afro, Penguini, and Salt. Walk me through what your process would be if you were a captain. You know you have a 5v5 Roche fight 10 minutes in. You know you've got a tri-lane for the first 10 minutes. What are you thinking when you're looking at sabotages?
For me, I don't think any of the early game gold ones, the ones are gonna have that too much of an impact. The ones that stand out to me as being sort of counteracting each other is the sabotage 1 and sabotage 4. So if you're losing 100 gold on every hero, it's interesting because if you can force the enemy, if you think you're going to be hit by that, you can force the enemy to feed these couriers and you basically get that gold back. So I want to see the dynamic between that. The other ones, I don't think they're necessarily going to matter when it comes to this 5v5 Roche fight. But lack of starting gold could have an impact on a tri-lane. I'm just really interested to see what the drafts are going to be like.
One thing that I find very interesting is 3 of the 4 sabotages only affect the start of the game, and both rules are out of play by 10 minutes. We have something that affects for the first 10 minutes, and then we have an event that takes place at 10 minutes. So after about 10 minutes into this game, it's a regular game of Dota. There's nothing else going on there. Unless one of the teams picks up the third sabotage, which is honesty, and that is they can all chat asking if any specific player has buyback, and they must answer honestly. It's really the only one that has any effect past 10 minutes. And speaking of which, we do have our purchased sabotages in. So, on Radiant team will be medium bots, and the Dire will be Goose Gang. They've conferred with our admins, and they have selected the following sabotages. All right, so both Radiant and Dire taking Impoverished, and the Dire team, medium bots, taking Honesty. I'm sorry, Goose Gang is Dire. Goose Gang.
Yeah, no surprise here. Impoverished, you just managed to make every hero on the enemy team down by 100 gold. It's real cheap, only one spy. It's early on in the tournament. You don't want to go too hard on them. I'm actually surprised that Radiant went for the Honesty one. I like with newer players, I don't know how much how impactful like knowing buyback status is going to be, but the fact that it's not limited does help.
All right. We are holding here while we await contracts. So let's quickly review the two rules just for everyone at home while we await the arrival of the chosen contracts. These randomly selected rules are tryhards and brawlhalla, and essentially they force a dynamic for the first 10 minutes. So for the first 10 minutes, you're gonna be tri-laning, and then at 10 minutes you're gonna have a big brawl. But then after that, it just turns into a regular game of Dota. How does this affect your draft? How does this affect your early game? How does this affect your strategy going into this match?
In most cases, support don't get level 6 at 10 minutes. They use pulse 4 and 5 usually gets level like 6 and like 11 to 12 minutes. So I'm kind of expecting these teams to kind of be AoE heavy off lane and mid so they can try to man fight as teams. For tryhards, I'm expecting boss safe lane is gonna have trying because like they wanna funnel as much goals into pulse 1, right? What do you think about these rules? So how do you think it's gonna affect the fights?
I think honestly, this game's gonna be really decided in laning stage. I don't think any of these new players are used to playing in tri-lanes. Tri-lanes haven't been in meta for a long time, and so with just the reductions in starting gold for everyone, being down levels like you mentioned on supports, especially since they're in a tri-lane, you're gonna expect supports to be like really under leveled at this point. It's going to come down to that level 10 fight, and I want to see drafts that really emphasize that timing, that level 10 fight, because you fight until one team gets wiped, and that's going to make a big like snowball effect into mid game.
All right, and we do have some contracts coming. Actually, all of the contracts. Apologies. We have all of the contracts in now. So let's review those. Once again, these are challenges that teams can optionally choose to complete in exchange for spies they can use in future matches. However, failure to complete a selected contract incurs a 1 spy penalty. Let's see what the Radiant chose. So Radiant did pick three extremely popular contracts. They will be 3k behavior score, something we have seen in pretty much every match today. This is anytime a member on your team dies, while they are dead, they must all chat complimenting the enemy for killing them. As a sort of corollary to this contract, Radiant have also selected 11k behavior score. I mixed those up. 11k behavior score is the one where you compliment the enemy. 3k behavior score is the one where you flame your team for letting you die. They did select both. So we should see some creative all chats every time somebody drops dead in this game. It'll be a lot of fun. The third contract selected by the Radiant is another favorite of the players, Counter-Strike. For those of you who haven't seen a match yet, because pretty much every match has had Counter-Strike, the concept is simple. You buy an iron branch, you go to the enemy side of the river, you drop it anywhere on the map, and announce that the bomb has been planted. 10 minutes later, if they have not yet found the iron branch, you get 3 spies. But if they find it before 10 minutes is up, they steal your 3 spies. It's a fun contract that I don't think we've seen a single team defuse the bomb. No, we saw one in SEA. So over 12 hours ago, we saw one team do it. And that is Counter-Strike. The fourth and final contract selected by the Radiant is one that we have yet to see in all of our games today. Fair trade. This is an interesting one. Both teams must trade all of their tier 3 neutral items with the other team. If you get the full 4-item swap, both teams get the reward. If not, neither team gets the reward. That's interesting. No team has taken the chance on that one yet. You're looking at, if the other team doesn't play along with you, -1 to both. That wraps up the Radiant contracts. Dire, we're going to breeze through 2 of them real quick. They also selected 3K behavior score, and they also selected Counter-Strike. But they also chose new contracts we have not seen in this tournament yet.
That's exciting.
Yeah, 2 really exciting ones. The first one, Don't Be Bashful. With a reward of 4 Spies, you complete this contract by purchasing an Abyssal Blade on a ranged hero. Very similar to this, they also chose Burn the Air. Purchase a Radiance on any ranged hero except for Necrophos, with a reward of 3 Spies. So, those are the chosen contracts. We are still waiting on players to signal that they are ready. So let's pull back up the chosen sabotages, and let's talk through the game a little bit more. Keeping in mind, no 0-minute bounty runes. Radiant must always answer honestly when asked about buyback. 10 minutes of tri-laning and a big 5v5 at 10 minutes. What would you be thinking? All of this out in the open. Go.
I do want to say I made a mistake earlier. I said that the impoverished was the first sabotage, only worth 1, but it was actually the second one. So good thing that that's been corrected. Now, a comment I have on that is if you think about bounty runes normally go 2-2. With the first sabotage, it's a guaranteed 100 gold gone on every enemy hero. Now, first bounty runes are 50 gold apiece. So really, Sabotage 2 and Sabotage 1 are are equivalent in terms of gold, right? Like we're basically, it's going to be a 100 gold reduction from both teams now that just no starting bounties are. So I'm curious as to why the teams favored this second Sabotage over the first one. I don't know.
Well, on its own, you can prevent the other team from getting bounty runes, but then you pick them up yourself. But the second team taking Impoverished means that the first team misses out on all 4 bounty runes that they would have otherwise gotten.
Mm-hmm. I see. So yeah, if one team took Sabotage 1 and the other one took 2, then there would be that's like I don't know. They'd basically make back their gold plus 100. So I understand.
So I will make a procedural note. The teams are not aware of which sabotages the enemy selected until their own sabotages are locked in. So it is a blind process. You do not get to compare with the other team. Additionally, contracts are not revealed to the enemy team unless they require action from the enemy team. So we are finally ready. We are going to jump into the draft now. We are jumped into the draft now. So let's go ahead and get the overlay off the screen. Let's switch over to the draft, and I will switch you over to our 2 casters for this match, Afro and Salt. Take it away.
As we do that, we note we might have a small problem that the draft has the draft time penalties from the previous game.
Yes.
Which might require us to remake. We will see.
Alright. So welcome to the game 2 with some medium boards versus Goose Gang. From this draft, the Goose Gang selected very interesting contracts, purchasing Abyssal Blade and Wrench Hero and Radiance, except Necro, So from Dai, I'm expecting some Invoker Radiance or maybe Phoenix Radiance, which is quite common. For other than that, maybe Sniper. They could pick Sniper or any very fast attacking heroes to purchase Abyssal Blade, even though they have 10% stun chance. If they attack fast enough, they might be able to get a couple bashes in. Meanwhile, Radiant, they picked a very normal contracts. So the first bans are
Turns out we're actually remaking.
ops.
The draft penalty was incorrect, so we are remaking lobby.
Yeah, please bear with us while we work around this technical glitch. We will get you in game and watching some awesome Dota in just a minute. So while we're sitting here, I notice Fafford has generously left our draft overlay up. Let's one last time, for old time's sake, let's just throw these rules up there. So for those of you just tuning in now, these are in effect for both teams. And then we will hide those rules and we will show the purchased sabotages. And so impoverished, neither team can take bounty runes. They both purchased it. And so we will see 0-minute bounty runes picked up by either team. And then Radiant, due to the honesty sabotage, is required to honestly answer in every case whether they have buyback available to them. So that may affect teams' strategies, such as when to push, when to take fights, etc. And then the contracts, we are not going to go through all of those. But if you are a long-time watcher, I will tell you just real fast that Radiance has 11k and 3k behavior score, as well as Counter-Strike. Dire has 3k behavior score and Counter-Strike, plus some exciting new ones that we will bring up on the overlay periodically throughout the game to remind you of what is going on. So we are going to sit in relative quiet for a second while we get into this lobby.
Okay, it looks like we're getting back into the draft for the second time.
All right, so once again, I'll do my little send-off. Our casters for this match are Afro and Salt, and go ahead and take us through this game.
Afro, aka Snow.
Yes, White
Yes.
Snow.
Yes.
You should probably change your Discord name. But
Probably
fine.
yes.
All right, so I assume same bands as before we made the remake. I don't see any reason to change these. You were mentioning Invoker Radiance and
Yes.
like all
Any
this stuff.
Ghost Folk Radiance sounds fog.
Considering they have to build Abyssal Blade as well, Abyssal on a ranged hero, I'm gonna guess they're trying to aim to get these done on the same hero. And really the only heroes that come to mind are maybe Troll Warlord, maybe like Dragon Knight you can't say is a ranged hero just because he's a ranged ultimate, but Troll Warlord is a ranged hero. You could probably do it on.
Or maybe if he could farm fast, maybe Terra Braid with Metamorphosis, so you can go ranged.
Oh,
Because the Terra Braid
that doesn't count. Base hero.
base here. Okay.
Yeah, the base hero has to be ranged. That's why Troll counts. If you turn ranged, it doesn't count.
Right.
So here we go. We get first pick. Tusk. Okay. I mean, I don't really have anything to say about this
Do you
pick.
think
Just a standard.
Do you think Tri-Ring on the fight that Rush Bait at 10 minutes affect draft? Because
Certainly.
Yeah, sometimes like a fight, one small, like one big fight can turn the game. So I'm expecting them to kind of draft turns that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now that you mention that, I actually completely forgot about the tri-lane. Tusk is one of the strongest tri-lane heroes in the game. Just tag team with 3 heroes makes him insanely strong. And Witch Doctor also up there with strong ones. Cask just bouncing between heroes if there's a lot of brawling and heroes are separated from creep waves. It makes Cask pretty strong. Plus the healing on all the heroes. Okay, Axe, a solo laner.
Mhm.
Assume this can be solo off lane. Really
I'm ex-
fast picks.
I'm expecting Dire to pick. Oh, here comes a troll world.
There's the troll. And I don't actually like that. Like, they picked the axe first phase, and you just pick troll into axe. It seems counterintuitive. You're countering yourself. I understand the contracts, but like, are you really gonna force this on a troll warlord? I think you should put some more thought into this. Yeah, really interesting. Now we're into some bans. I expect both teams just kind of ban heroes that like work against their cores. We first phase cores on both sides, so you kind of just want to ban, like, especially with this troll already being into 1, even honestly 2 counter picks. You just want to ban out 3 troll counters pretty much. You don't want any more counters to your hero.
I think Dire's trying to ban those support with just huge AoE. So maybe they were thinking like those support could change the fight to 10 minutes, but in most cases, post 4 and 5 don't get to level 6 at 10 minutes. On top
Yeah.
of that, they have to do tri-range, so by the time 10 minutes come, they probably are on like level 4 or
Mhm.
5, depends on the tome. Actually, they don't have a tome because it's about 10 minutes.
Yeah, the fight is really going to be determined by your offlane heroes. I guess your mid lane heroes as well, but I think the offlane heroes are going to have the most impact. They, at that point, should be the strongest heroes on the map, because usually I think offlaners are stronger than mid laners if given a solo lane, like solo experience and stuff. Well, actually, it depends. If they lane the solo versus solo, then it's kind of just going to be a farm off, and that'll be interesting. But
Right.
if it's for both teams solo versus tri-lane, it's going to be pretty hard.
Yes.
Banning the Drow, I guess, yeah, that's a like kind of a troll counter. You like to build Pike, that's to get away. Gust, pretty bad for troll. You need a BKB to deal with that, so I guess it just kind of works out. Drow also one of those heroes that is really strong with just a few levels, especially if they hit 6 for that Roche fight. Their ultimate is just a huge power spike for Drow.
Right.
And I like the Radiance approach, banning out all these offlaners. You know that Dire's going to be looking for an offlaner in this next phase. You just try and secure yourself a lane. You're banning out Legion, Slardar, Centaur. Maybe setting up for an anti-mage pick. It'd be kind of weird in a troll, though, as that's not really a great matchup.
Underlord is
Bandlord's
very
great.
good for solo lane.
Yeah, good solo lane. You can you're not really gonna die too easily. Undying, one of those heroes that's really strong in those Roche fights.
Right. With the Tombstone and String Steel, it's pretty good. And these like on boss like Task, Witch Doctor, and Dying, they're very functional before level 6. So I think that since they're drafting pretty good right now.
Yeah, one thing we're definitely gonna have to look out for is this Underlord should probably put an early point in Pit of Malice, at least 1 point before this fight at Roche, because the pit just offers so much utility in that 5v5 engagement. Normally you don't see Underlords go for pit too early, but I think it'll be super valuable this game.
For Underlord, what do you think about 3-1-1 build? Because Atrophy Aura got nerfed?
Well, Atrophy Aura got nerfed at low levels, which means you need to put more into it to really sustain. So it's kind of a tough case to lane this Underlord. The best case scenario is you put this Underlord in the solo lane. They're going to get more levels. So by the time you hit 10 minutes, I don't really know what level you're looking to be. Maybe like I don't even know what level are solo laners by 10 minutes. I should know this.
Probably level 8, I think.
Yeah, so either way, I don't think you get your ultimate on Underlord. You maybe max out Firestorm, have a point in your pit, and like 3 points in aura.
But the problem is, if you're solo laning against Tri-Rain, probably like those Tri-Rain are going to deny every single creep, so it's going to be very hard to get levels.
That is true. Yeah, I think it'll just be interesting to see how they lane this. I think both teams favor just from having the 1 versus 1, right? You put the Axe against the Underlord, they're not really going to die. Or you put the carry versus the carry, and you put the Underlord and Axe in the matchup against each other. The hard trade-off is, right, you have to realize that one of the teams are going to have everyone dead at the Roche fight, right? Like one of these carries is going to die.
Yes.
So if you're playing Troll and you're going for this Radiance where you're, getting 3.8 gold for your first component, it's going to be very difficult because, if you lose this Roche fight, you're going to set that Radiance so far back. Whereas if you win, you're going to be really far ahead. We do see the anti-mage pick that I predicted earlier. Yeah, I don't really like this pick. I'm going to be honest. I think it's not that great this game. Maybe it's just a comfort hero. But we'll see how this goes. It's also kind of weird that they banned the Queen of Pain when picking anti-mage. Quite a bit reserved, so you can take their time with these last 2 bans. We're looking for mid laner or a safe laner for Goose Gang. They could put Troll mid. We see tops in Troll mid often. But my guess is they're going to put this Troll in the safe lane. They're going to look for a mid laner. What do you think the chances are that there's a tri-lane mid?
I don't think that's a good option. I think if you think about it, Dire needs farm. This Troll needs farm to get the Bristle Blade and Radiance.
Monkey King ban. What do you think this Monkey King and Void Spirit bans are setting up for?
I'm pretty sure they're just trying to target ban someone from their team.
Okay. Because
actually, like Monkey King and Void Spirit, they're pretty good at the 10 minutes fight. Because Void can jump in the back line, and Monkey has a quite huge AoE.
Okay. Yeah, for Dire, they get the last pick mid, so I'm just thinking maybe there's some mid they have in mind that like just doesn't lane well against these 2 heroes, and maybe that they're trying to set up that sort of pick. I mean, Ember comes to mind, but Ember was banned out by Radiant here.
I know, right now I kind of feel like Dire's lacking huge stun.
Yeah, they don't really have that like reliable lockdown. They have a lot of roots and like just sort of disruptive type stuff, which is good against the anti-mage and the Tusk. But I'd like to see some more solid lockdown. The thing I was going to mention about Radiant is they don't really have a person who wants to hit towers, and this Zeus doesn't solve that issue. So I think they're going to be in a really difficult position where even if they get ahead, they're going to need a huge advantage to actually pressure, because they just don't have someone who's going to hit towers. This anti-mage is going to be off farming, playing his own game, and no one else hits towers.
Right. Also, usually AM don't want to fight at 10 minutes, because usually AM battlefield timing is like 14 to 15 minutes. At the time, I'm pretty sure this AM only has the health and the mana region rings and probably broadsword and boots, which doesn't provide much team fighting. Probably mana void does a lot, but
yeah, exact same thing I was thinking. Both these carries, assuming that they're going Radiance Abyssal on Troll, and assuming this anti-mage is going to go Battle Fury, they don't want to be in this fight, right? One of them's going to die, and one of them's going to be set behind. That's what I'm saying. I think this fight is going to make a huge impact. And as far as Goose Gang, one thing that I think you should look for is something like a TA here. I think TA would be perfect because it beats Zeus really well. Let's see. They don't go for it, but Klink's also kind of does what I was about to say. Assuming they win this fight at Roche, if you have someone who can build like minus armor or a Deso, you rush like a Vlad's on your Underlord. I'm pretty sure with a Troll, you could take this fight Roche, win that fight, assuming you win, and you could go into an immediate Roche and get Roche done at like, 11 minutes when the enemies are respawning, right? And that could be huge for momentum.
By looking at the draft, I feel like Dire team's gonna win the level 10 fight if they execute correctly.
I think it'll be fairly even, to be honest, because you have to remember that there's probably not going to be ultimates coming out from the supports here, and
Right.
even the carries are going to be really behind, or whoever's in the tri lane. You're really coming down to, is Zeus or Klink's going to do more in a fight? And honestly, I favor Zeus there. I think the Zeus can do a lot. So I'm gonna take my bets on Radiant for this mid fight or this Roche fight.
Mm-hmm. Okay, one thing I want to pay attention is that how they gonna execute tri lane. I'm curious how they allocate the lanes here.
Yeah, so we'll see that in a second here. I guess we can have a quick breakdown of who's playing what. We have for Dire, or for Radiant, let's start with Radiant. We have Roxy Roro on the Tusk. We have Josh on the Axe. We have Bot Smiley Face, I guess, on the Zeus. Rojo on the Undying, and we on the Anti-Mage. We with E's, not threes. Just to make that clear. For Dire's side, we have Merriam-Webster on the Witch Doctor. Great name. Kira on the Grimstroke. We have Your Name Here on the Underlord. Cookie No Good on Clinks, and Devirus on Troll. Looks like we're gonna
Dabby
be
on
seeing...
Troll is pretty good. I watched him playing Troll and he was like pretty good in Troll.
Yeah. So, interesting. It looks like the Dire side is going to go for a aggressive tri-lane. They're going to be tri-laning into the enemy tri-lane. So it was what I kind of predicted, that you're going to have the one-on-one and the tri versus tri. How do you favor these tri-lanes? Like, which tri-lane do you take in this, Radiant or Dire?
I feel like level 1 to 2, I think Dire's gonna win it. Because the Witch Dog and the Glimshock is such like a huge nuke. On top of Underload, if he has like Firestorm available, like they can probably deal quite some damage. Meanwhile, Task plus Undying is a pretty good beefy dual support that can man-fight these Dire supports, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think I'd like to see this Undying go for a 1-1-1 build, because all the Undying's abilities are going to be really effective in this tri-lane. So I think once this Undying hits 3, if he goes for the build that I was saying, 1-1-1, your Soul Rip's going to do a ton of damage, a ton of heal. You're going to have that Tombstone and this Decay, and I think Radiant just kind of takes it off from that point. You have a Tusk. The only part that makes it iffy for Radiant is the Anti-Mage. But what do you think about this top matchup? We have Axe versus Troll, solo versus solo.
I have a feeling Troll's gonna win this thing so hard, Zax cannot recover.
Okay, I actually think the other way. I'm gonna be honest.
You think so?
Yeah, and an interesting thing is Troll was actually given additional regen by his support. He has 7 tangos and a salve. We do have a disconnect. We've been paused here
And
for a while.
Axe has Linger Protection, that's the extra armor for Axe. So maybe he was expecting to lay against tri-lane? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. Well, any other things to mention before the game starts? I mean, we're sitting here
I'm
in a
very
pause.
curious about this Ox and Troll matchup because if Ox level out of hunger first, like Troll can just kill creeps and like dispel it. So I'm expecting Ox to probably just go for Helix to just push the lane. Or if he's getting beat up so hard, maybe he's gonna go for Call first.
Okay. The dynamic that I do want to mention is this Axe versus Troll 1v1 top. With both these heroes getting soul XP, they're going to be the heroes that are strongest on their teams going into, well, as well as the mids, going into this 10-minute fight. I think Axe does way more with these levels than Troll. Like, you think if Troll has Battle Trance, at this fight, it's like just entirely countered by Culling Blade. You just Culling Blade and he dies anyways. So I don't know whether like I said, I definitely take Zeus over Clinks in this fight. I think if Dire might want to end up switching up these lanes, I don't think they want to let an Axe and a Zeus get off to a good start, because that 10-minute fight is going to be rough for them if that's the case.
Let's actually check what level Zeus should be at the 10 minutes. Probably at the level 7 or 8, I think.
I'm gonna pull up a previous game. Let me see. So
Should be at 7 or 8.
it looks like. So I played a game recently. It was like 8 or 9 is for a mid lane, and so we can assume that the solo lane would be around the same spot, level 8 to level 9. Supports being around 5, which in a tri lane maybe even 4 or 3 depending on how they play it. Right? Usually this one of the supports gets their 6 from the tome, and we won't have tomes for this fight unless like a fight's super prolonged in which a tome gets delivered in the time.
Right. Well, the thing is, you have to go to the Rush Bay before 10 minutes, so they can start the fight at 10 minutes. So if the support is level 4 at the point, they got Flying Courier, so they might be able to get the Tome and get the level. I don't think even with Tome, if it supports the level 4, I don't think they can get to level 6.
Yeah. Now, I might be corrected by admins here, but if this tri-lane rule comes up in the future, I'd be curious to see if teams start picking something like along the lines of Enchantress, who can just kind of like, you can still play the lane, but you can just be out of XP and sort of jungling, and so you allow you basically force a dual lane because you have this ability to jungle, while still being a tri lane.
I'm actually curious to try lane. Like, do they have to present in a lane at all time before 10 minutes, or they can go to those small camps and farm those?
I think the rule is just you can't, like, I believe it's just you can't gank and you can't like, you know, be in another lane. You can't babysit another lane. Pretty much, like, it's like, you know, generally laning stage, if, you know, like, people are just always returning to those same lanes, 2-1-2, right? And basically we're just going to see is a 1-1-3.
Because I was expecting, like, if they allowed, they maybe like pause 5 or 4, just go jungle and just try to stack camps.
Yeah, that could also be a case.
But if they're not allowed to leave the lane, then probably not.
Okay, so it seems. Oh, we got a reconnect here. Hopefully, we can get this started. No, it is very hard to keep filling. To be honest, I didn't know what I was signing up for with this casting thing. We're definitely the least experienced of these casters. It's gonna be a fun game. Don't worry, we got winner's side too. We got all the important matches, so it's gonna be fun.
We're gonna try to hype up the casting by spamming
Oh
random
yeah.
things.
Seems like players are still kind of walking towards bounty runes. I mean, if I'm them, I just walk to my tower. Why even bother fighting at bounty runes? You can't pick them up. Neither team can pick them up. You just leave them. Right.
Oh, the smoke came from Dia's side.
Interesting.
Also,
and they get on the Tusk, and they don't hit him with anything.
Whiffed pretty much everything. No, I was a whiff they can hit, but
yeah, this Undying is going to take over this lobby pretty well, and that's also what I was saying. Like you're gonna waste a smoke level 1 on this rune fight when no teams really have to fight for runes. Like people can just sit back at their towers. There's no reason to lose health over this.
Right.
Or I think Radiant played that well.
Sometimes people smoke to put the wards. Probably
They
like
didn't
just behind, right? Sometimes the people do it. They could place the ward around like.
They actually
behind
didn't even
the
take
TL1.
an observer in
Right.
this lane. Why would they not take an observer in the tri lane? They actually just didn't buy one of their observers for Dire, it seems like. And this is what I was talking about, the cast, just bouncing between the two supports when they're off brawling.
Right.
But at the same
No.
time, there's some dying with the 12
Meanwhile,
decay.
I think the Undying's pretty good in Trident because like
Yeah.
usually those two supports can stack together. So if he's good, he can get the 8 strings every time he casts his spell.
Yeah, you're pretty much at least going to be getting 8 with decay, and
Right.
maybe even the 12 if you catch the underlord as well.
Now he's at plus 24 strings. That's a lot.
You have some 400 HP supports here and a 1000 HP witch or 1000 HP Undying.
Right.
It's getting pretty scary. Over in mid, not too eventful right now, just CSing back and forth. Looks like Clank's pulling slightly ahead. I mean, by 1 CS. It's pretty even matchup. I expect this matchup just to go even. Both
Right.
people are just going to farm.
Top is going a bit troll favor.
Okay.
Oh, top is
Seem to be manning up on each other.
right.
Oh, and Troll gets the kill. But First Blood was actually drawn bottom by the Undying. Like we said, this Undying just so strong in these tri-lanes.
I like how Undying starts with Windlace. That's extra movement speed
Yeah.
to catch up them.
One thing I think is going to make a big difference in tri-lane is the supports buying regen for their carry. Just naturally in a tri-lane, like people are just going to be taking more damage, right? You can't afford to have your carry buying a bunch of regen. As a
Right.
courier with 3 more tangos comes out for AM, yeah, I don't think that's what you really want to be spending your gold on. As an anti-mage, you kind of just want to get that ring of health as fast as possible.
At the mid, Zeus tried to dewer the Observer and getting punished by Klings.
Tusk getting gone on bottom. Looks like he might just die here. He's gonna try and TP
He
out, but
died.
there was an ink swell on him. Poor Tusk. See, we're gonna have, I assume, boots coming out? No. Mangoes, wards, and a stick for Undying. I feel like a boot would have been good here. Just go for a boot early.
Yes. Here comes fight happening above them.
Just gonna man fight the Witch Doctor.
He might get Witch Doctor.
You just got the mango.
Right.
And the last hit the anti-mage. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want. This anti-mage is actually having a really great lane. I wasn't really expecting this, but I mean, when you have a Tusk Undying, this lane is just going phenomenally.
Also, I kind of want this Underlord to buy some mango. Right now, he just got the
Looks like he's just gonna go for Arcanes. That's
Right.
fine. It helps
Alright.
all 3 of your heroes to keep their mana up. So,
like in this thing from like Radiant side, the only hero that spam skills is Undying. So I kind of was hoping for the Underlord to just stay at the magic stick and just don't update to the wand, so he can probably fly out mango or extra region.
I don't even think you want mangoes out here because, like, I mean, his skill build, I think he should just put 2 points in Atrophy Aura. You go 102 at level 3.
Here comes the top.
Wow, another kill onto Axe. I guess you were right. This troll.
Right.
I was watching this a little bit. He's doing a good job of switching to ranged and just hitting the Axe whenever he can. Just playing that range versus melee matchup well.
Right, and it's I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is a very bad matchup, as I mentioned. The Ox, like what Battle Hunger is going to do. Like Troll
Mhm.
can just in the denial kill creeps to just dispel it.
Uh.
Also, I'm curious how level 6 fight's gonna be when the Ox get 6, but so far it's pretty bad. Like Ox is getting denied. Like look at the CS difference. Like Troll is at the 25-8, while Ox is 9-2. That's a quite significant difference.
Yeah, this Axe is definitely struggling. He's also 2 levels down. And it's like 2 full levels. This
So
troll
meanwhile,
is.
both side,
Oh,
Task
yeah.
on the 9 trying to kill Witch Doctor.
This anti-mage's farm has slowed down a little bit. Probably because of the extra tangos that he bought, which he's sitting at full health with 3 tangos. You know, like I said, I think he should have just gone for the ring. And same mistake being made mid as well. This Clinks has 6 tangos on him, full health right now.
Maybe
Kinda
Klink
weird.
was thinking
And
to get.
Zeus just ships out a set of tangos. What
Oh,
is
here
this?
comes a fight against Witch Doctor and Task at the bottom labor. I like how they're fighting 1v1. If they kept fighting, probably Task would probably won.
Looks like I think Clink's denied the rune for Zeus, so Zeus not gonna be able to fill up that bottle.
If you look at Klink's items, he went for Souling. What do you think about that? I don't usually see Souling on Klinks.
It used to be a thing. I don't think it's needed anymore. You don't really.
Oh, he has a boss fight.
Oh, bomb has
Oh.
been planted, and a fight bottom. Where did this bomb get planted?
I do not see it.
Oh yes, ping's coming
it's
out.
right there.
There it is. But back to the Soul Ring Clinks. I don't think it's really needed anymore. It used to be a thing to keep your mana up, but like this guy likes to build orchids, so I feel like you can just go for the Sage's Mask to keep your mana
Right.
up.
Instant debuff from Radiant side on the
Yeah,
bottom.
I really like how the Radiant supports are playing. These supports, Tusk and Undying, don't really need lanes, oh, my bad. Don't really need levels, and so this anti-mage already has 6. He's, keeping up with this troll. Not quite keeping up with the troll, because the troll's getting a solo lane. Axe still falling pretty far behind.
Right. Oh,
Another fight bottom. It's just non-stop fighting. What you expect with a tri-lane.
right. Task and Undyings are quite behind, but also AM is level 6. So they're actually pretty good doing allocating EXP. But the problem is like problem in 10 minutes. AM's quite useless at 10 minutes fight.
Yeah, we have 2 more minutes before we have to fight here. Troll, let's see. He's saving up for something. He should probably ship out some item. He hasn't made a decision, it looks like, yet. Anti-mage just has the treads. And we only have boots on our 2 supports. No points in Tombstone. This Undying really needs his level 4 within the next minute and a half, because this fight is going to be pretty big without Tombstone. It's going to be hard.
Right,
There's also the fact that... Oh, sorry, you can go ahead.
Also, they have to make sure to get HP and mana up by level by going to the base before 10 minutes.
I was going to mention the same thing. Zeus sitting at no mana, and this fight's going to happen. This Zeus is going to have no boots, no mana, and like, if assuming he's not keeping track.
So we have 1 more minute until Roche fight. By looking at the skill build on net worth, I do have a feeling Dai is going to win, because if you look at the Zeus build, he doesn't have points in static field,
Yeah, I
Which
might
is-
have been way off with this one.
which is which doesn't really help. Oh, he actually put the 1 point, but it doesn't help much a 10 minutes fight. So we
Another
have 30
thing
seconds until rush fight here.
Yeah, another thing that can help with the fight is just having a full stick going into the fight. We see Tusk placing down some wards, getting ready for the fight. Let's see if anyone has a full stick going into this, because that can really turn the tide. See, Witch Doctor with 0 starters, Grimstroke 13, 9 on Underlord.
Okay, so looks like there is no rush fight. It's at 10 minutes, and they're supposed to start at 10 minutes. So I'm wondering what the penalty is going to be here.
Well, I think they're starting to make their way. It looks like Radiant TP'd there, where Dire just wants to walk.
I'm pretty sure the rule was
No.
like you have to start the fight at 10 minutes.
Well, looks like a fight's starting. They're just kind of scared to fight here.
Right.
I mean, you have to fight until one team dies, so we'll see what happens. It looks like Zeus will be the first one to go down. Troll on the Zeus already. Oh, big call from Axe. The Thunder God's Wrath coming out.
Okay.
Mana Void on the Underlord. It actually looks like Radiant's pulling out. Oh, but the ult from Troll. Troll with the triple kill. Let's see. Zeus brought back. I guess this is perfectly fine. Yeah. And they're going to work the Dire. Radiant actually took it with the buyback from Zeus. That I honestly did not expect.
Wow.
And I guess it's perfectly allowed, right? If you respawn when the fight's still going on, that's stupid or perfectly fine. I said stupid because I was reading stupid in all chat. Yeah, and this is just a normal Dota game from here on out. Everything that we had applied only to these first 10 minutes. So it'll be interesting. From where we're sitting, CS chart, you have the 3 Dire cores sitting at the top of CS. If you look net worth wise, you see the same thing pretty much, only this anti-mage up in the top. It's actually kind of crazy considering the Dire just lost that fight. I guess the buyback on Zeus meant quite a lot. We have a 3k advantage for Dire here.
Some buyback on Zeus was like probably 400 gold.
Yeah, let's see. We can check. I mean, anti-mage, his buyback would cost like 600 something, and this is a mid lane Zeus we're talking about. I think it costed quite a bit. Or cost quite a bit.
This Cho is pretty rich.
Troll's just gonna get another kill. Can he get the root? He doesn't get the root. Ooh. Yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be very hard to stop this Troll, and he is queued up. He has queued up the Radiance. So, we did mention this. The Radiance Abyssal Troll. I've yet to see this. I wonder if this is gonna make like an impact on this Troll's impact this game. Like he has gotten this great start, but is this Radiance gonna just slow him down? Is this Radiance gonna ruin his game?
Right, Cho has a very high base attack speed, so Battle Fury and Cho is more suitable, but in this case he has to go Radiance, but that's still a farming item, so it's definitely gonna slow down his farming, but it's not slowed down significantly, I would say.
Yeah, the only thing is, like, none of Radiance heroes are really, like, none of them really care about a Radiance, so to say.
I think, like, Alchemist and Wraith King. Alchemist usually go Radiance because of his huge, like, timing. He can probably get Radiance like 11-12 minutes. So earlier you get Radiance is better because it does a flat damage. So,
I mean, by what we're seeing now, we're looking to get a Radiance like fairly soon. We almost have the Relic on Troll. Dire's still up by 4k, and that lead's only gonna get bigger. We're still going for the Battle Fury on Anti-Mage. His Courier's dead, and he only has half the Battle Fury. It's not looking great if you're Anti-Mage.
He's 2,000 gold from Battle Fury at 40 minutes. That's considering that's actually pretty bad. But they Trident versus Tri-Rain, so.
But I'd say that was definitely a Radiant favored Tri-Lane. I just, you know, it's probably just the fact that the Anti-Mage soloing against the Underlord, he just wasn't able to see us. Maybe the supports weren't focusing the right people. Maybe this Underlord was the one we had to be worrying about, considering he's just going to take this tower bottom. Maybe rushing the Greaves on Underlord. He's going to have these Greaves before Anti-Mage even has, you know, a third component for his Battle Fury. Looks like the Tusk goes down. Top. Not that big of a loss.
So it's a BM tip coming from AM.
Ooh. We have a
Probably-
ton of Dire observers around top. I didn't get to see, were these placed? I think these were placed before the Roche fight, setting up for this Roche fight. They just warded every cliff around Roche. It ended up not working out, and now they just don't have observers really anywhere else. 15-minute bounty runes coming up, and this anti-mage still so far behind. The Zeus also, he maxed the lightning bolt, and the meta build we're seeing nowadays is the arc lightning, and you know, because of that and the buyback, this guy's also fallen super far behind. Plus, on Zeus, you really like to get the, you know, the kill steals with the Thunder God's Wrath, just being able to get your kills early and from the side lanes, and that hasn't really been happening.
Well, I think maybe that was like RTZ of Mason. The Zeus tried to chaos and he went mold.
Yeah, maybe.
He like a... Also, Troll is probably like 2 minutes, like 1 minute from Radiance. That's actually pretty good timing.
Yeah, Troll's gonna come out with a like 17-minute Radiance, and this Clinks is about to have his Orchid as well. They're gonna have, you know, Troll's gonna be in his mega farm mode, and this Clinks is gonna have Orchid, and this Anti-Mage still working on Battle Fury. He needs the Manta.
If you look at the top, they're trying to fight. They're trying to
Go on the Witch Doctor.
oh, the failed.
Task was already used. I think this Witch
Right.
Doctor. Oh, he's so dead. Yeah, and failed kill steal from Zeus. Unfortunate. But Underlord still keeping up the tower pressure. He has the Troll as well. Like I said, Radiant really is just not gonna have a good time pushing towers, where Dire is just gonna be able to walk around and take these towers. And I still stick with my previous statement that I want to see the Vlads come out on this Underlord and just take an early Roche. They definitely have the lineup for it.
It's only 200 gold away from Radiance. That's actually pretty
Troll
good
gonna
timing
come
for
up on
Troll.
this. Oh, he doesn't choose to go on the Zeus. Maybe they just weren't confident with the vision they had. Grimstroke just taking the lane mid, and meanwhile Clink's just farming up his Orchid at the Ancients. He has that Orchid done. This Clink's has not taken auto cast off his Searing Arrows game. He's doing and just using the swing. I don't think I agree with that. Oh, am I good now? Sorry.
Yes, it's fine.
I was saying the Clinks, he just hasn't taken off autocast. He just keeps autocasting these Searing Arrows, and it's really hurt his mana. He's had to use the Soul Ring. Did I might have saw some. I might have not seen that correctly, but I thought that Radiant just used a double smoke. Might be wrong though.
So Radiance available on Troll. Now he's trying to queue up SNY. Which...
Okay, I like that. I mean, you think of the Radiance just as your Battle Fury substitute. This is just the normal build-up afterwards. I want to see them switch up some of the neutral items, though. Just keeping a keen optic on the Troll.
If you look at the mid, Zeus is...
Zeus or Tuscan Undying getting gone on, being linked up. Grimstroke falls. I don't really know who's favored in that. Like, I mean, I have to take Dire. Dire's just gonna take power off this. Where does Axe falls top to the solo Troll? Axe with just a Blink Dagger, no Blade Mail. This Troll once again just pulling way ahead, getting way out of control. We now see an 8k advantage for Dire, and Anti-Mage has the Battle Fury now. It's gonna take a lot for him to recover here. Being, what's this, 4 levels down from the Troll? Almost 5. I think Dire is you're just gonna see a very aggressive playstyle from here on out. We're going the MKB on Clinks. I think a Deso would be better here, but it's not bad.
Here comes the fight. The
Vambrace
picked off.
Vambrace dropped from for Clinks, but it wasn't picked up. Has he noticed it? Okay, Underlord will grab it. Yeah, and these Radiant heroes just dying one by one, falling farther and farther behind. They might have focused too much on the 10-minute timing. They took that 10-minute fight pretty convincingly, but they kind of just stepped off the gas, and they're not really doing much with this. Witch Doctor way out of position. Let's see if they go. They didn't blink first on the axe, and the call is gonna whiff. The cask, and they'll get the kill anyways.
Witch Doctor probably lived if he just run away.
Yeah, I think he just runs away after the cask or TP's out, and he would have lived. But still, you know, just sloppy play from the Radiant.
Meanwhile, bot tier 2 was taken down by Troll.
This Troll.
This Troll has Radiance and Yasha. He's very strong now.
Going on Clinks right now. Tusk Snowball with the Undying, and the root comes out. Troll coming to clean up, and easy 2 kills for Troll, and a free Tombstone. Oh, you have to be loving this if you're Dire. You now are just grouped up in this position. You can go Roche afterwards. I doubt we're going to see that though, as you know, beginners just I think they're allergic to Roche. They just don't know he exists.
But problem is they have to have BKB or Aegis to go high ground because they have Zeus and Axe and they have Tombstone. Like that's a very good high ground defense.
Yeah. Well, the bright side is that since they took this tier 2 bottom, they pretty much can just abandon the side of the map. They can just start, like, you know, choking out Radiant, invading this triangle, taking the top tier 1, tier 2, taking this mid tier 2, and just pressuring an advantage. I don't really like seeing the Clinks farming on his side of the map. Witch Doctor is the one pushing out the waves, so I don't think this should be the case. You know, once again, Troll farming his Ancients when he could be farming the enemies. Now, that being said, I still think Dire's heavily favored in this scenario, but I'd like to see them pressuring this advantage a lot more. Anti-Mage got the Yasha finished up.
SNY finished on Troll. Now he's going for Satanic. Maybe they forgot they are going to Abyssal because one of the contract is going to Abyssal, right?
Yeah. Maybe he just wants, I don't know. Maybe he just wants Satanic. Okay, initiation on a Troll. The call comes out, but then the ult. He just melts this axe. Tusk is just going to fall afterwards, and Zeus is going to follow right next.
And here
Triple kill for the Clinks. This is insane. Team wipe. I mean, I don't see how Radiant comes back from this. I don't know, maybe Radiant wants to finish some contracts before this game ends, you know, to pick up as many spies as they can, but this is looking like a really convincing win. They just walk high ground. They have nothing to worry about.
Oh no, Troll is queuing Abyssal Blade, so he's trying to complete contract.
I mean, if I'm Dire, I'm waiting this game out. You know, I'm getting my Abyssal Blade. I think this is in the bag. This Anti-Mage he's not coming back. You take Roche and you just, you know, you take this barracks, then you just back up, you Roche, you go top lane and get this this Abyssal. I like to see they didn't even commit for the ranged barracks, realizing that ranged barracks doesn't mean anything. It's just gonna fall naturally.
I was kind of hoping that they're gonna commit for ranged barracks because Underlord had the ult for Dark Lift, so if he could time out, they could all escape.
Yeah, they could have just Dark Rifted top. Huge wave pushing in top. They should just start working towards this tier 1. Support's posturing at Roche. We see the Zeus ult come out, just a scouting ult. Clinks just annihilating the Undying with the double damage rune. Anti-Mage still pushing out top. Why is Troll bottom? I mean, this is really just weird.
I think it's very... I don't think Radiant can recover from this, so...
And now they're going Roche without the Troll because Troll's been pushing bottom this whole time. He's still jungling, still not walking to Roche.
I'm pretty sure Troll is just trying to complete the contract by going for Abyssal.
Yeah, maybe he's just trying to farm up the map and just finish the Abyssal. And they're just gonna, you know, play with the rest of them. They don't really need him to win these fights, I don't think.
Right. I think Radiant probably just tried to defend high ground with Zeus and Tombstone from Undying.
Yeah, Clinks maybe going to be hunting this anti-mage.
Right.
Anti-mage still with no Manta. He's far from it. It's 24 minutes. We have a 20k gold lead.
Also,
around.
I kind of want Sentry from Radiant side at the kind of just right outside of high ground, so they can probably spot Clinks coming in.
They have sentries at the front side of their base. They don't necessarily have it down like on the low ground too much, but I think they're pretty well covered.
Anti-mage trying to cut the wave,
Yeah.
which is good because it's kind of delayed, but they're pushing because there's no creeps coming in, and there's a protection, backup protection.
Yeah. I think Troll can just go through it, especially if his Clinks here. They're slowly getting the tower. Clinks comes, this tower will fall. I mean, they have Glyph to just heal it back, but...
Also, on the full pipe available and underload, so...
and Greaves. This is a really strong, tanky team. The pit, like I said in draft, just causes so much chaos in fights. They choose not to Glyph. Just let the tower fall.
I was hoping from Radiant side they could probably place the Observer right mid, so... They saw their 2 support, died 2 support.
Initiation onto the Troll and the Underlord. Underlord is gonna fall. Troll just gonna clean up this team though. I mean, like, these guys are just gonna fall. This Axe on the run is gonna be silenced. He's gonna take that. He gets sniped by the Grimstroke, the Aether Lens Grimstroke. Meanwhile, Troll just continuing to kill people over and over and take out the Tombstone. And Clink's just gonna walk high ground and kill this Witch Doctor. This is just such a good performance from Dire side. This team is actually looking really strong. I think they made just all the correct choices with their lanes, just putting everything into this Troll, just letting this Troll just carry. At first, when I saw lanes, I thought Radiant would win because of this. I thought I liked Radiant's lane setup because of the Undying Tusk, but I just really underestimated how much this Axe would lose to the Troll. There's one lane of barracks left. Just gonna group up bottom. Still Aegis on Clinks. We have 3 minutes left on Aegis, I believe.
I was kind of hoping for Radiant team just go for a Troy and top side to shut down Troll, and probably let Ark just sit in a solo lane.
Yeah, I believe how these I believe how the wording on the what's it called rule is set up. It just requires a tri lane. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to stick to your initial tri lane. I think after the little bit when this Troll is pulling ahead of the Axe, you have to switch it up. Go pressure the Troll. Just follow this Troll around and shut him down. But right now this Troll is just uncontested. 10-1 and 7 is only death being at the Roche fight where they committed the Zeus buyback for it. And if that Zeus didn't buy back, he wouldn't even have died. Looks like full Abyssal Blade done for Troll, so that's both contracts done.
If you look at Zeus, he probably gave up. He has a Boots of Trouble.
Yeah, what is this play? He sold his items to buy travels. Why?
Just like Mind Control sold his items to get Blink from TI9.
Yeah, except a blink on Tide is a lot more impactful than travels on Zeus. You just get rid of all your spell amp and your cast range. Like, what's this hero do now? You're pretty much just an ultimate. Let's see. Blade Mail just walks in the Firestorm for the Axe, though. There's just no Axe initiation, and they're just gonna walk in one by one and get picked off by this Clinks. Clinks just standing there with Aegis in between the barracks and the fountain, and he's just walking into the fountain now.
If I was an Axe, he could call.
He could call, but they're just letting it go. Axe jumping onto the Troll, but this Troll is just going to melt this Axe. Ults, and that's GG.
And Raging Cold GG.
Just dominant performance from Dire. Really good performance. I like this game all the way through. Just solid game. Yeah, I think probably the biggest thing was just the draft. I mentioned in draft, this anti-mage pick was just very confusing to me. I thought he would be off to a good start, but you just get off to a slow start with the anti-mage, slow start with the Zeus, and it just falls apart. All 3 cores got shut down.
What do you think? What kind of like a +1 were you expecting to counter the Dice draft?
You just need some ranged hero.
Probably,
You just lack a
probably
ranged hero. You lack
Drow Ranger?
Tau hitter. Yeah, I would have loved Drow. It just, I think it was banned though. But like Drow can hit towers. It can sustain, right? Like you can lane well against any like Underlord and stuff. Even like a Morphling might be good. I mean, it's kind of rough to lane Morphling in a solo lane, but if you put him or in a tri lane, but if you put him solo against the troll, that could be good. I don't know. Gyrocopter maybe, but that's a little iffy. Even taking the clinks from the other side, the clinks earlier.
Well, anyway,
Yeah, I
the
think next
fantastic
up
game
is
from
the,
Dice side.
We have a lower bracket game coming up in a few minutes here.
Yeah, that was a great match. Thank you to our casters, Salt and Snow. I believe.
Yeah, we're gonna go to break for 5 minutes, and then we'll come back with a lower bracket round 1 match.